Hello, welcome back to Tail 3 Cabins. So the idea here today is I have power that goes into my shed. This is the shed that now houses our chickens. It's the garden shed. It's got the lawnmower in there, a few other things, chicken feed, stuff like that. Also has the overhang where I have my implements. And a while back I ran power to this shed, not knowing that we were going to have a pole barn here in the future. And I only ran 12 gauge underground Romex from the house over to the shed here. I really just wanted it to do a few things, have a plug in there if I wanted to charge batteries, put a trickle charger on the lawnmower, maybe some lights. Now we've got this pole barn here, and for the most part I use portable power stations to supply my power need. But I have two purposes here. I laid out some conduit. What I want to do is tap into that line that I already have into the shed here and use that electric. So I have some leftover underground Romex, and I'm just going to use the remainder of that. I think I have enough to get me from where I came into the shed, get me over here to this conduit, go into the ground, and then into the pole barn. And that will suffice to give me some low wattage lighting, some LED lights. I have 4 LED lights, shop lights up on the ceiling now. I might add a couple more towards the back of the pole barn because it's a little darker back there. But just the 4 of them in there only uses around 100 to 120 watts of electricity. So it's very low demand. So I think having this long stretch of the 12 gauge conduit should not affect things too terribly. So we're looking at a run of Romex that is probably around 150 feet, somewhere in that neighborhood long to get into the pole barn. My power stations that are in there, I'm going to still try to charge them off of solar as much as I can. In fact, once this setup is complete, what I'll do is I'll try to mount these solar panels back up on the shed. I'll probably add a couple more. I might be looking at 600 watts off of the shed roof here. Try to tap into that same conduit and run the solar panel wires in the same conduit and into my pole barn, and then that will keep my power stations charged. When there's those periods of time where, in the wintertime, where a power station doesn't do so well, if it's bitter cold, a lot of times I'll take the power stations out of the pole barn because they really don't like to charge under 32 degrees and they really don't like to operate under 14 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll still have some electricity as a backup technically to run my lights and have an outlet or two in here if I wanted to run a trickle charger to my tractor. Also, if for some reason the solar panels are not working out so good, if it's been a long stretch of cloudy days and if I've been using something high demand inside the pole barn. So with the Van Powers power station that I have, it's the largest one that I have, and I can actually select the amount of watts that goes into it if I'm going to be charging it off of electricity. It's got a capacity to charge at 1800 watts, but there's no way I would try to do 1800 watts to a 12 gauge wire coming from my house 150 feet away. But I could down that to about 300 watts where we just do a constant 300 watt charge, and I think that that would be okay and not give me any issues as long as really nothing else is running. So that's the project for today. I'm going to get the backhoe out, start digging the trench. I'm only going to go down a couple feet. I'm putting it in conduit just to be safe if I were to ever be digging up this area again or doing something here, that I would hit the conduit hopefully first. So if you recall, I took a big stump out of here a couple weeks ago, and we're going to see if I run into any issues when I come through here with roots. I'm sure there's got to be roots through here. I think it's going to start out good. It's going to bog down in this area here, and then once I get clear of here, I should be picking up speed again, getting towards the pole barn. So I want you to stick around and continue to check it out. Well, it did not take long at all to start getting bogged down here, but I do have some pretty thick roots that is starting to already slow me down. would be curious to know for the folks out there that have the BX expanded trenching bucket, just if that works any better when it comes to strength and pulling roots out, any just differently than the stock bucket that comes with the 260 backhoe. I know that the trenching bucket is only 6 inches wide, so I'm just wondering if that gives you a little bit more strength when it comes to pulling out these roots. This root in particular is giving me an issue, and I think I'm just going to have to clean as much dirt as I can with a shovel and then pull out a sawzall. So much for the hoe cam. Pretty much this whole trench has been riddled with roots, which is slowing me down, and I'm really trying to take advantage of some of this nice decent winter weather we're having right now. It's going to change on us tomorrow. We're going to get quite a bit of rain, so I'm hoping to get this whole project done by today. Well, that took a little bit longer than I thought it would. I never really eased up once we passed the stump over there. It seemed like I had some good sized roots and obstacles the whole way getting to the pole barn. All the conduit's down. We pulled our wire. I have this here for a future solar line coming off this roof that we could try to pull back. Hopefully it'll make it through. I wonder if I should have put a little thicker conduit, but the elbow that I installed when the pole barn was first installed was only like 1¼ inch. And then using that underground Romex is pretty stiff wire. If I would have just used single stranded 12 gauge wire and just ran those through, that probably would have been a little bit easier. Left some room for future use of solar. The 2 wires that I'm going to need for solar panels will at least have to be 10 gauge thick. Those are a little bit more pliable than this stuff. Wire running in through the chicken coop, and then it's going to go over to where my outlet is. We're going to tie into that. I'm going to cap this off. So it's been a pretty long day. We're pretty close to sunset. I'm going to get a shovel out and just kind of manually cover over the conduit, and then I'll take the tractor and try to move some of this dirt. We might get some rain tomorrow, so I just wanted to get this done. It was a decent day today. Temperatures reached around 50 degrees, although it was kind of windy, blowing my camera off the tripod, but we got the job done. Now the conduit is no deeper than probably, in certain spots, it's maybe 18 inches deep. Towards the ends here, it's only about 1 foot deep. When I got to the shed, I only went about 8 inches deep because of the drain tile down below. I was starting to hit some of the gravel that I threw down there, but I didn't want to interfere with that. I'm going to take a little video to make sure I kind of know where things are at if I ever need reference for it in the future, but I don't think I'll be hitting anything. I don't plan on doing any work here, but you never know. But I appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoy and subscribe to these videos. Click on that little bell when you want to know when a new one is coming out, and keep an eye on us. Take care, everybody.